Credible. Great rates with none of the bull. Well, the Cowboys coming off an 8-touchdown performance in their blowout win over the Colts Sunday night. Dak Prescott said they're, quote, a dangerous team. But do not forget about the Philadelphia Eagles because their performance over the Tennessee Titans was equally as dominant. Not only that, they lead the NFL currently with only one loss. Jalen Hurts getting it on and off the football field. So the real question that has to be asked, Cowboys, Eagles, potentially in a head-on collision for an NFC Championship game. But more importantly, has the gap been closed? Last time we saw the Cowboys play the Eagles, Sunday night. Whole world was watching. LaShawn McCoy was there in person. But it's a new Cowboys team. Shady, I believe the Cowboys have closed the gap on the Eagles.
Wait, why you ain't say what happened in that game?
What happened in that game?
You talking about you ain't like.
What happened in the game?
Who won?
Eagles. Eagles did win.
A weird thing to brag about.
I you got to tell the world what happened.
Here's the troubling thing. The Eagles won by 9 points. Right? The gap between the Cowboys and the Eagles appears to be 9 points. That's what the Eagles won by. But Dak Prescott is currently worth significantly more than 9 points to the Dallas Cowboys. If the gap between the Cowboys and the Eagles is 9 points, now I got to see what in the world is the gap between Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush. Because 9 points is the number that everybody needs to be paying attention to. So if we have it, let's throw it up on the screen. If we don't have it, I'm simply going to tell you. The gap between Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush, currently 11 points. Dak Prescott averaging 32 points per game. Cooper Rush averaging 21 points per game.
I hate this stat.
I know you hate the stat, but unfortunately,
this is not real.
The stat has no emotions.
This stat's not real, though.
The stat doesn't care about your feelings.
We just watched.
The stat cares about facts.
See, where's my, right here? Let me get my onesie. Let me get my onesie.
It's a one shot.
It's a one shot.
That's
a onesie you sleep in.
I call it onesie, right? America, don't let the stats lie to you. Acho and his other friend here, Dave, they like to lie to the people. I won't lie to you. You show me the points per game.
Yes, sir.
So does that account for the touchdowns, the defense score on that terrible team in Indianapolis?
No, sir.
That's one touchdown.
One touchdown. Then you get a pick in there on the side on their ball on their side of the ball. So now if you don't score, you at least get 3. Like we gotta stop this with the numbers. Let's just look at if you want to put numbers up, put Dak numbers up. Did Dak look good that last game? That big performance he talked about that was dangerous. Did he look good?
He played all right.
Did he look good? He don't want to say no.
He looked okay.
Did he look good to you? Y'all know he didn't look that good.
He made some good plays. He had some.
Is the gap closing?
No, it hasn't. The gap hasn't closed with the team. Obviously, with the record. Listen, when I look at the Cowboys and I look at the Eagles, I think we still have the better roster, right? I think the Eagles have a better quarterback, better coach. So I just feel like we have the confidence. We 11-1. They can't beat us.
Is Dak better than Cooper Rush?
Oh, he's a little bit better.
How much is a little bit? Because going into the last possession, how much is a little bit?
He can run.
Going into the final possession against the Eagles, you were there. It was a 3-point game. So is Dak at least 3 points better than Cooper Rush?
First of all, I can't go by game, right? Because the playbook is going to be the way that the defensive game plans will be different from Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush. That all matters, right? But one thing I do know, when I watch Dak Prescott play, he looks like a game manager. They run the ball extremely well, right? And then they feed off of that. So my thing is when you can't run the ball, then what happens? That's why I love the Philadelphia Eagles so much with a bigger gap. If we can't run the ball, we can throw the ball deep. We can throw the rock. Not no 5. Look at this. That was 39, that play right there. He threw it for 6 yards. The guy tackles him. He tackled it. He throws for, it's 39. He throws his 5-yard pass. He catches it. They tackle him. Oh, wait, he's not down. And he runs up and scores. This Dak Prescott, dog,
you just saw that back shoulder.
Look at this. That's a great job. Way to convert on 3rd down and score a touchdown. He's so overrated, it's ridiculous.
I can actually hear the fear in Shady's voice right now. I can.
If Cooper Rush played, I would be fair. I would fear that.
Cooper Rush, who had the Cowboys sitting somewhere around 25, 26 in offense while he was the quarterback, and now they're number 1 in every meaningful category.
They run the ball better.
Dak Prescott, who's top 5 in drop-back efficiency in the league right now with Mahomes, Allen. Jalen Hurts is there somewhere, but that's above him. Yeah,
please don't put their name in it.
He's number 4. He's number 4 in
drop-back
efficiency.
They're not throwing flat routes. He throws flat routes all day.
You remember I brought up the Bucs game 2 years ago, 2021. Yes, they lost the game. They ran for 50 yards that night. They gave up on running the ball. They couldn't run against the Bucs. Dak threw for 400 yards.
The first game of the year?
That he's a game manager is asinine, man. I don't know why we do it. Look, here's the funny thing is, I think the Eagles are a better overall team. They have the better overall roster. If you want to get into the nitty-gritty of the matchup, the Cowboys, low-key, have a little bit of a problem in the secondary. They just lost Anthony Brown, their cornerback 2 for the year. They lost Jordan Lewis earlier. That is a problem when you're talking about Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. I think the Eagles, I would say they're a slightly better team. They have a deeper roster. To act like the Cowboys haven't closed the gap, what are we doing here? Of course they have. They have the best offense in the league by a pretty wide margin since they got their quarterback back. And Philly didn't even beat them that impressively when Cooper Rush was the quarterback. Are the Eagles better? If you want to say that, that's fine.
Sad,
to act like the gap hasn't even been closed, like what are we even doing?
It's bad for TV.
What are we doing?
Lying, man. We got to stop lying.
Joy, can you please arbitrate this conversation to some degree?
I knew we were going to do this. I knew we were going to do this because I knew we were going to ignore the Eagles win because there was more exciting stuff that happened this weekend. Winning all the time, that's boring. That's boring. There's just more exciting stuff. We watched the Cowboys kick the Colts' ass. You know, Colts fans, everybody in my mentions for 3 straight weeks about how great the situation was. And
yeah, that was bad.
No, it was an impressive win.
Okay. No, it wasn't. You know what was an impressive win? 35-10 over the Titans, who are leading the division that the Colts are in.
Mm-hmm.
Colts are at the bottom. Titans are at the top.
What she said.
See, the difference is I acknowledge these things.
And Jalen Hurts, who just can only run the ball, can't throw the ball. They ran for 67 yards. What did he throw for?
380, something like that?
380.
Ooh, 3 touchdowns?
3 touchdowns. No interceptions. It was a much better win than the Cowboys win because the opponent was not as bad as the Colts are.
Ass.
Okay? So what are we talking about? If anything, the gap is widened.
Ooh.
The Eagles are the best team in the NFC.
Get them, Joy.
They're here. Everybody else is. You can have a conversation about everybody else, but you start with the Eagles, and then you go down a couple flights of steps. Here's everybody else. They're in the penthouse. Everybody else lives down here.
Take the elevator.
So you'll be a little out of breath by the time you get to the bottom, but you're walking downstairs, so it might not be as bad.
She's killing them today.
Be serious. Like we didn't talk about the Eagles win, and I get it. It's boring winning all the time. But how could the Cowboys beating a worse team be more impressive than the Eagles beating a better team just as bad?
We're not talking about the win. Right, I think the Cowboys win was the most impressive win of the weekend.
Did they close the gap? It's not the most impressive win. The Eagles win is the more impressive win.
No, the Eagles win is the most impressive win of the weekend.
But she said.
I think the Dolphins lost. I think the Niners win was the second most impressive win of the weekend. And then I think the Cowboys win was the third most impressive win of the weekend. Why? Because it's hard to be significantly more impressive than a 35-point win.
No. I'm not saying what the Cowboys did was insignificant.
No, I think significantly more impressive. So I think the Eagles win was clearly the most impressive. Then I would say that the Cowboys win was top 3 most impressive. But it's not about who won, who lost that specific game. I'm wondering, Joy, how can you look at a Cowboys offense that is significantly better? How can you look at Dak Prescott, who's significantly better, and say that the gap hasn't been closed? Like that's
all I'm trying to say. What happens that changed your mind about this?
49 points against the Bears. 54 points against the Colts, a 28-10 win over the Giants. Like, all of those things happen.
The Giants win, I'll give you. What are we talking about the Bears and the Colts for?
49 points.
Okay. Yes, because it's the Bears and the Colts. I'm not saying it's unimpressive that they're scoring those points. But nobody's saying they're going to do that against the Eagles.
Yes, I think the Cowboys offense is significantly
So with all these points, this is what you do right here. See, I told you they're big on these numbers, these stats, right? Let's put the stats away for a second. Okay, so if I ask you, Dave and Acho.
Yes, sir.
Right?
So, yes, sir.
You said that all these stats, these numbers.
Yep.
So what makes the Cowboys offense so good or so much better than the Eagles?
Great question. Oh, no. Cowboys offense is not better than the Eagles offense.
That's not what you said.
That is not what you're saying.
Right, but the conversation that we're having is, did the Cowboys close the gap on the Eagles?
Right.
Yes.
And you're saying they did. You
so
said
the offense isn't better than the Cowboys.
Offense.
No, the Cowboys offense is not better than the Eagles. The Cowboys offense.
Okay.
Wait.
No, I'm listening.
Okay, here's what it is. If the Eagles offense was a 10, and the Cowboys offense was a 6 when they last met, the Cowboys offense is now an 8, and the Eagles offense can still be a 10. The gap is closed.
I'm confused as to what we're all confused about.
So my question is, and why is that? Because you won't tell me that. But don't tell me no numbers. Just tell me why. Okay.
I will say because Dak Prescott, at a minimum, stresses defenses out a little bit more than Cooper Rush.
A lot more.
Like, I'm just going to say the bare minimum. I'm going to be conservative. Stresses defenses out. Stresses, yes. Because here's what we know. At a minimum, if Dak can only do one thing better than Cooper Rush, I believe he does more than one. But if there's only one, at least he can throw on the run.
We're getting somewhere here. Because I think he runs better, right?
At least, at least he can throw on the run. If there's just one.
I like to just use my eyes because I watch the game like you watch the game. So he puts more stress on the defense.
Yes, sir.
How? Why? What is it?
Because
they don't throw the ball deep at all.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll concede. If Cooper gets out the pocket, Cooper's not doing anything with it. He's throwing it away.
I'll give you that.
If Dak gets out the pocket, Dak might still be able to get a completion on 3rd and 14, which we've seen.
Now, this is true. This is finally some truth. Is that the only thing? Is that the only thing Dak is doing that's so much better?
I believe that there is more, but that's the one thing that's most convincing. So that's the one thing I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, okay.
I believe that there is significantly more.
Because the truth is, when they watch the tape, Dak is doing the bare minimum. They're running the ball like crazy. They're play action, throwing little dump outs. He throws 5-yard to 6-yard routes to CeeDee Lamb, and he gets busy. Because when you watch the tape, he'll do nothing else.
I got a question.
Where Jalen Hurts is throwing that thing deep everywhere. Middle, the running back, the deep 30 yards, 40 yards.
So
your boy can't do it.
Shady, is it a coincidence?
It ain't even close.
Is it a sure?
Laughable.
Is it a pure coincidence that the Cowboys average 11 more points now in the last 6 games than they did in Cooper Rush's 5? Is it a pure coincidence? The football gods just sprinkled luck on the Cowboys when Dak showed up.
The problem what they learned is that we got to go through Pollard. Pollard's touched the ball a lot more now. It's like, look like it's his show. Passing, running, they going to him. Like, it's his show. Zeke get up in there and get his little carries.
What are Pollard's best 2 plays since Dak got back? They were long passes from Dak. That's
Will? Stop talking about the Will, Ron, please.
Here's my favorite one. Or the
5-yard dump out he ran.
I got one for you.
Please.
It's the most unimpressive throw ever. I'll give Shady the credit. He threw to Tony Pollard in the flat. He took it to the house. How did the ball get there? He went through his progression to the 4th guy, which is something Cooper Rush couldn't do in his dreams.
Yo, I'm done.
He said, that's not there, that's not there, that's not there. Oh, look over here. Tony Pollard, I processed so quickly and so accurately that I checked it down into the flat where nobody was covering Tony Pollard. That is the difference between good quarterback play and not. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
He just talked about how great that he went to his progression, went to the 4th option to dump off. Everybody does that.
Whoa. Everybody does that.
That's not true.
All the game management quarterbacks don't do that?
Everybody doesn't do that.
I'm asking you one more time. All the game managers, all the rookies, all the bad quarterbacks, they don't throw it to the dump-off routes?
No, sir.
They don't even give those quarterbacks 4 reads.
Yo, I have nothing more to say.
Here's my thing. Here's the thing. You know Justin Fields doesn't do it, sir.
He don't. I mean, he runs. He don't only throw.
Justin
Trubisky, all the average quarterbacks, stuff that they do. They throw the checkdowns. What are we talking about here?
Dak Prescott is.
Am I tripping here, Joey? Like, what are we talking about? This dude is talking about how great. I talked about how Jalen Hurts throwing the ball 40 yards, 30 yards, running it. All this great stuff he's doing as a quarterback. And he just told me how great that Dak did by going to all his reads and throwing to a check down route.
Going through your progressions not matter?
To the check down? He ran a 1-yard route.
But sometimes you'll take a sack if you can't go through your progressions and you hold on to it too long.
We can't do this on TV. We can't do this. This is craziness.
Answer me this.
I'm done. No more answers.
Answer me this.
I'm too.
Okay, if Shady won't answer, then I will tell the people.